sci-fi show. This may be a shorter than regular schedule tonight due to technical difficulties that we have a week to figure out of what is going wrong and why this thing continues to hate us.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we're definitely going to have to start using the same location we used the last week.
Yes,
it seems to
our
work
new
much better.
Studio F. Studio F.
Studio F.
We are a multi-billion-dollar organization that has multiple studios.
No, we don't.
In the same building.
It's just upstairs. It's the attic.
Yes, the attic. So we shall talk about Rogue One. You saw the trailer for Rogue One today.
I saw it a couple of times. I mean, this is. I watched it again just before we came on the air, which is why we were actually a couple minutes later coming on the normal.
Because we were entertained by Rogue One and the lack of entertainment in Ghostbusters.
And there's a couple of things. I don't have the lists of the names of the actors and actresses who appear in the movie, but the actress who they went off and have hired to portray Mon Mothma is a dead I mean, she looks almost exactly like the original actress who played the role in Return of the Jedi over 20 years ago. Or, excuse me, 30 years ago. Oh, God, I feel really old now.
Yes.
And Forrest Whitaker, of course, I mean, he goes off and he speaks over much of the trailer. And, I mean, he may be one of the most acclaimed actors to ever appear in any Star Wars movie.
I do question if this movie may point and reveal a little bit at Rey's parenthood, so to speak, or at least we get to see Mace Windu again.
It's interesting. I mean, they're definitely. I think one thing that a lot of the critics have kind of attacked Star Wars for over the years is just how few actresses main characters in the Star Wars franchise, because up until last year's Force Awakens there was very few really juicy good roles for women in the franchise. I mean, most of the others were Luke's and Beru, she died within the first half hour of the movie. Then you have Leia. And then there's Mon Mothma, who we only get to see in one scene in Return of the Jedi, and then there was a couple of slave girls.
Yeah, it was definitely very limited roles. I really think I'm happy to see the females pick up the roles as well, but I don't want to see the roles of the men drop as well. I think it definitely should be very equal roles, and I think we have that with the whole Finn and Rey.
And it was interesting, and this was I can't remember. It may have been Daisy, who plays Rey, who pointed this out. People going off and talking about how having a lead, as a woman or as a minority, can't make money. Well, that movie proved otherwise. The two main actors.
See, and my thing is, I don't think it's because they can't make money. I think there is sometimes certain actresses or characters, so to speak, it's really hard to build up a storyline around them. One that would actually fit, the uniqueness of, the person playing the character.
Well, absolutely. Much like, we probably will never see a Black Widow movie, just because, no shot at Scarlett Johansson. But how do you go off and make a movie about this character, and that is going to attract a big enough audience?
Oh yeah, no. Same with She-Hulk, Wasp. There are so many unique female characters out there, but it's really hard to make a standalone movie.
Exactly. It's bringing up the question of Wonder Woman, which will be coming out. And how well is that movie even going to be able to do?
I think the actress is powerful enough, so to speak, to be able to pretty much blow everything away from out of the water. I think she was a huge factor in Batman v Superman. She definitely brought in some connection, so to speak.
And I think that's part of the reason, pardon me, why they wanted off and they wanted to get her in this movie. Because they really wanted to go off and push as much as possible. So I mean, I'm excited by this trailer. It definitely looks like, I mean, when I first heard the idea, they were talking about how they were going to go off and to do a less mystical Star Wars movie where we're not going to really see the Force really in there. But at the same time, some of the scenes that were in the trailer almost makes me, think that we might see some sort of dark Force user in there. I don't recall if they showed Darth Vader, but they definitely showed a couple of interesting characters. There is a stormtrooper in a black suit in there that at first I thought was Forrest Whitaker, because he wears an interesting suit of armor in the trailer as well, but it doesn't appear to be him.
No, you're definitely very unique. I'm just worried about that they're trying too hard after The Force Awakens, that they're pushing a storyline, they're pushing all these special effects, things like that, and possibly taking a storyline that should be a little slower and making it too fast.
Well, and I think I pointed this out to you. There's going to be a new Star Wars movie every year, I think, for the next 10 years. And then, between doing movies as well as doing origin stories. I think the next origin story they're going to try to do is one on Han and Chewie, I'm guessing.
See, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, like a lot of people out there, but I'm not a big fan of this one every year. I would love to see one every 2 years, give or take. Draw it out, stretch it out, have some fun with it.
Well, it's better than what we see, these days with, the whole superhero franchises that are going on there, where they feel like they need to go off and bring out 2 to 3 movies every single year.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We'll give Disney some credit on some restraint involving Star Wars.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this is no disrespect towards the superhero franchise. I understand why they're trying to do it. They're trying to do it well. Introduce as many characters as possible before they all get too old to play the roles.
But at the same point, if you want people to continue to stick around as fans, you don't want to over push it, overdraft it, so to speak. You don't overload it.
This is true. But you know what? I mean, what was your thoughts on the trailer? Because I know you're kind of you're very hesitant about it, but this is an interesting look at it. I mean, this is a story about the rebel group that went off and stole the plans for the Death Star from the Empire.
See, even though they're portraying her as a main character, I can't help but think the whole Princess Leia being a slave come to mind as well. It almost seems like she's forced into this. She's a slave to doing what they ask her to. So it's kind of like the same thing. She's a main character, but at the same point she's a secondary character.
It's interesting because they do definitely, they kind of give her this interesting, almost, she's a bit of a badass. Definitely. She goes off, and at one point they bring up all these things that she's done, and she says, "Well, this is a rebellion. I'm rebelling," and so she definitely comes across as this. I don't know if the tough as nails is the right terminology, but she definitely comes across as being an anarchist.
Oh, I completely agree. I wonder if there's too much divide on if she is in control or if someone's controlling her. The whole line down the middle.
I don't know. I think it's almost, you're taking you have a mad dog, and you know that if you're not careful, it could bite you. So you're going off and trying to focus it on someone else to bite. And that's almost, the feeling I get early on in the trailers. Okay, they have this, wild card, here, and they need to kind of send her, give her something to focus on, and if she dies, oh well. It's kind of because, she's a little too hot to handle, so it's like, hey, let's go off and let's give her, send her off to get the Death Star plans. If she fails, then, then we don't have to worry about her anymore.
I'm putting a random theory out there. Wouldn't it be funny if this main character from Rogue One actually becomes, the mother of Rey?
This is definitely an interesting idea. I don't remember if I brought this up on a previous episode, but someone had asked J.J. Abrams during a press conference who was Rey's parents, and J.J. Abrams had an interesting response to that. He went off and said that Rey's parents are not in The Force Awakens, which would indicate, whether there was, there was kind of a joke in there. If he was serious about that, then that would mean that she is not a Skywalker whatsoever, unless there's another Skywalker child somewhere out there.
Yeah, no, and which is always that possibility as well, but I highly doubt that. I still go with my whole theory. She is actually, a child of, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or grandchild, so to speak.
Well, it would have to be at least a grandchild.
I don't know. Some people can get busy in old age.
It's possible, I guess. Although I do think it's kind of interesting because if you watch, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, they're only about 10 years age difference between them. If you in the first movie, and yet, I always, after seeing, the Phantom Menace, I always thought it was weird that Darth Vader would refer to Obi-Wan Kenobi as being old man, because it's only like, if Obi-Wan Kenobi's 60, then that would make, Darth Vader 50.
Yeah, definitely a play on words. I think it was unique. I would like to see this theory possible, this woman being the mother of Rey, and somehow being a Kenobi.
I think, I don't know. I honestly, while I would love for her to go off and have some connection to the previous movies, it might not be a bad thing if she wasn't. And that it was, I think it would help more people go off and to be able to relate to her if she was just a nobody. Like, her parents were nobodies.
I disagree. But that's just me.
That's just you.
So, I think we've pretty much beat the dead horse with this
one.
I
think so. With tomorrow being May the 4th, of course, May the 4th be with you. It'd be interesting to see if we get anything new from Lucas Films and Disney. I would hope that they'd come out with something.
Star Wars. At least a trailer for one of the upcoming movies, or set pictures, or something or other.
We'll definitely have to keep a lookout on this, and I'll have to go off and keep Facebook and Twitter tomorrow for sure to kind of see what's going on. So yeah, I don't know. So I guess we can kind of wrap this up. Sorry guys, I've been really tired. I actually was up, got up very early this morning to complete a role play for one of the electronic wrestling federations that I'm part of, and which incidentally featured Capt Fizz and myself doing a interview with my main character known as Tiger Mask Red. So if you guys want to go off and kind of read on that because you think it's the slightest bit interesting, you can go check that out. I linked it in the show's Twitter account. So you can go kind of take a look at the interview of Tiger Mask Red by Capt Fizz and the Masked Guy.
Yes, and none of it was written by me.
None of it was written by you, but I think
My
I
voice
did-
was plagiarized.